Boker Tov, Yom Tov, Zoharim Tovim, and Laila Tov, no matter where you are at. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Carrie. I am going to be speaking from my heart today, answering another question. Again, thank you so much for the questions that all of you are asking. This is such a great way to get this information out to all of you who are earnestly seeking to find truth, to be set free from this lower matrix, and be able to get answers to questions, because we're living in the age right now of light and love, which means the things of the darkness which have kept us in lower vibrations are now being able to be seen, and there's more clarity that is coming. More light means more information, so that we can deal with some of these lies that have been holding us back and shackling us to a lesser narrative, keeping us trapped within the beast matrix system and all of its tentacles that have been holding us hostage, so that we can truly experience liberation from our captivity in delivering ourselves from that which binds us. So the question that was presented was really simple, and it was one of those things that YouTube actually deleted it. I don't always know why YouTube algorithms do what they do, but the question was this: are mother and father separate beings? 40 years of Catholicism have really skewed the way that I see things. So to answer this question, yes and no. In one of the teachings that we've shared before about Yod-He Vav-He as a teaching pattern, it actually shows the oneness principle, yet the division that is meant to be connected. And we've shared this many times about the two that were one that were seamlessly divided into two in order to bring it back together again into one. Hence why we are the stand, one to one. At least that's one portion of it. So if you take a look at the pattern in the system of duality, there always needs to be a male and female component in order for things to be created. You can even see this in nature. There's only very, very few instances where you have like hypoparthenogenesis, where there is a generation that happens without a second fertilization, but that is very rare. Pretty much everything in the system of duality takes a quote-unquote male and female in order to create new life, even in plants. In fact, I was looking at juniper trees here not too long ago in one of the biggest juniper forests in the world, which is Central Oregon, and I was able to see firsthand the difference between a male juniper tree and a female juniper tree. It was quite interesting to see it. And obviously the female are the ones that produce the berries, and the males are the ones that present the pesky pollen that a lot of people in Central Oregon get allergic to, me included, after years of having lived there. So mother and father as an entity are all of one, and it depends on the face that you see. So when we are in the maturing process, when we enter in as little children, we are going to see the face of mother. To take a look at this, the best way to present it, and I have shared this before in past teachings, is it is like a single coin that has two faces, and the faces will present themselves to you based upon your maturation process. So as we enter in, and we're learning the golden rule, and we are learning the letters of light and their shapes and their forms, and we are wrestling with beginning to look at the Hebrew words and seeing them as the individuals that create the words, you are seeing the face of mother. Once you mature and you are able to go through, and it does change you, by the way, the frequencies do change you. When you get her mark, her sign of her covenant that you have passed, that measurement, your frequency changes. This gives you access to begin to see the Father's esoteric teachings, because really Mother is the gatekeeper to protect and guard that teaching, because it is so deep and it is so revealing and it is very, very powerful, that only those who are humble and who have been teachable can pass her guard to be able to cross over into his teachings. That's when the second face of the coin presents itself to you. And this is where you're going to find the esoteric side. And one thing that you can know, and I will share this with you, and I will continue to share this with you, Hebrew words have a root, and usually the root is 3 letters. It's much likened to a lump of clay that needs to be formed and fashioned. All of the raw material is there, but it needs to take shape and form. And dependent on what is going on, you will either have information added to the prefix or to the suffix, dependent on what is trying to be communicated. Anything on the prefix side of the word, which would be on the right side of the word, as English is backwards from Aramaic, so the right-hand side would be considered the prefix, and that deals with Mother's teaching, as she is teaching humility to those who are teachable, which then automatically puts you in the place of being humble, and to teach you the golden rule in order to tame the beast. Anything that is added to the suffix side, which would be on the left-hand side of the word that you're viewing, is Father's esoteric side. And this is connected to teaching unconditional love. So Mother is teaching conditioned love to tame the beast. Father is teaching unconditional love, which then is the perfection of love that casts out fear and eradicates the beast ego nature entirely. Because that's when you recognize and realize that we are all one. So to answer your question, they appear separate, but they are really one and the same as Source. I hope that helps. The only thing that I didn't suggest or talk to you is about the center of the word, which is the place of the lump of clay, the root, which has to do with the inside of your being. This is the place of where your mind, will, and emotions are, and it deals directly with your heart. And this is the place where the spark, the all-spark, the fractal of Source, resides within. So the root has to deal with Source and you as Source. And the two reflections of Mother and Father, prefix and suffix, are in your progressions of becoming, so that the third triple tav can make its place within the root, the center of your being, which is the 13th chakra. I have shared that before in other teachings. And I have a whole document that I wrote one day that just came pouring out from within regarding the triple tav, as it's connected to many, many teachings that Ken is sharing. So I hope that answered your question. I hope that brought more clarity to you about the formation of the words and why we see the two different faces of the coin, and yet they are still one, which is the same thing that's going on within us. We have the divine and masculine and the divine feminine within us that are longing to be reunited back into one as well. And that is when we have the Kundalini experience. That is when we become enlightened and illuminated. That is when we know we have found Da'at, or what Greek would call Gnosis. And you are totally changed in understanding that we are eternal and that we are all in the unified field of one. Shalom, shalom, and namaste.